Alright guys, welcome back to the first Forza Motorsport 7 online racing video in the channel. I'm driving the Lamborghini Reventon, which I got from the specialty dealer in the game. This is a beast of a car, needless to say, but it's surprisingly well balanced. So this is a good car for you to try out online. There's the usual chaos. I rammed this guy off. It wasn't intentional. Somehow this guy braked in front of me and I couldn't brake soon enough. I think this first couple corners in this track are usually the source of most of the carnage in the race. From this point on, the race starts to spread out and that it's not an issue anymore. This guy comes out of nowhere, and I don't know if he tried to push me off the track, but he got what he deserved, so he spun out. But anyways, we're on one of the main straights of the track. We passed this Porsche. Braked a little bit too late in there. If I took a little bit longer to brake, I would have gone off track. And you're gonna see that this car has a huge amount of top speed. And the brakes are awesome too, which is something that you don't normally see in cars this fast. They usually lack in the braking department. Went a little bit off track here. And I'm gonna try to reel these guys in. I'm in 4th place, so the first three racers are not that far off, so that's something that can be done. We can still try to get to the 1st place. The 5th guy is a little bit far from me, so I'm not too bothered about my braking zones. Usually when there's a guy too close to my car, I tend to brake a little bit later just to try to fend off any sort of moves that he might try to pull. I think this is a Murcielago. I forgot the name of the car. Murcielago. Yeah, I'm not good at remembering proper names of cars, so I'm not even gonna try. We're past the Porsche guy, and somehow this guy braked out of nowhere and it threw me off. I ended up ramming him, and the Porsche behind me ended up ramming my car as a result. I don't think it was intentional though. But anyways, we're gonna try to recover a couple of the I think we lost 2 positions, so we're gonna try to recover the positions that we lost. We're gonna pass this guy fairly easily, and as you can see, I'm gaining fairly easily on those guys in front of me, and I'm able to overtake them in a single move. I braked a little bit later there just to try to avoid any sort of contact during those 2 corners, and then I'm gonna be able to pull away from those guys a little bit. In some cars you're able to take this corner flat out, but not so in the Reventon. With this car, since it's too powerful, you need to brake a little bit, and that's where you lose a little bit of speed. You also need to be really patient and careful with the throttle off the corners, because if you try to, floor the throttle, you're gonna end up spinning too much and losing too much time. We're into the last corner and about to cross the finish line into lap number 6. We're still in 3rd place. The 1st and 2nd place are a little bit over 300 meters away from me, so I don't think it's gonna be possible for me to catch up to them. But this has been a good race. Usually there's a lot of chaos and a lot of crashing in Forza lobbies, but this race turned out to be a fairly decent one, all things considered. So we're on the one of the main straights here, about to take the last two corners. As you can see, I gained a lot on the first and second place, but there wasn't enough left for me to be able to catch up with these guys. I think if we had at least one more lap, I think I could have caught up to them. Now moving on to the second race of the video, I'm driving the Aston Martin Vantage V12. This is a really good car for S-Class, and apparently a lot of people use either this Aston Martin or the Porsche GT2 RS, which is the cover car of the game. We're in Dubai. In this first corner, I'm gonna be a little bit too aggressive and brake really late and try to get as much speed as possible through this S, because I was a little bit afraid that somebody would try to ram me off. But after that, I just pull away and nothing much else happens in the race. As you can see, I'm gonna finish in first place. So we're gonna be moving on to the third race of the event. We're back in the Lamborghini Reventon. I forgot the name of this track, so apologies. This race, I don't remember exactly what happens in it, but this turns out to be a sort of a little bit tense race, in the sense that the second place wasn't far behind, so I couldn't be too relaxed. So we're through this couple first corners and onto this long straight. Here the racing line is gonna tell you to brake earlier than you should. Actually, your braking point should be the black tire wall, as you can see on the blue circle. You can brake as soon as you come across the black tire wall, and you should be able to gain a lot more speed than other people who follow the racing line. That other guy tried to outbrake me, ended up going into deep and went off the track. Now for this next corner, you're gonna want to look out for the 100-meter marker. When you're in between the 200 and the 100, that's when you start braking. Don't follow the red line, because it's gonna tell you to brake earlier than you should. If you brake between the 200 and the 100 marker, that's, I think, the optimum braking zone. That's where you're gonna be able to carry a lot more speed and get the proper angle into that corner. We're up in first place, so I think we're gonna remain in first place for the remainder of the race. Not much is gonna happen, but it's a bit more interesting race because the second place isn't far off, so there's a good chance that this guy might be able to overtake us if we're not too careful. I really like this track. I like the flow of the corners. I think it's a great track for high-speed cars, because it has a lot of long straight and high-speed corners, so it's a good track for the type of car that we're using. Although we're still losing a little bit of speed over some of the more angled corners, because this car is a power beast. It's not meant for tracks with too many angled corners. As you can see, we're getting a little bit more speed over the straight. The other guys have absolutely no chance to catch up, or at least to stay up with the pace of this car in the straights, at least the cars that the other players are using in this race in particular. Really patient on the throttle, try not to, floor it too early. Again, look out for the 100-meter marker, start braking, go a little bit deeper than the line tells you to, and then you can turn your car in and start accelerating. I don't know if that's the fastest way to take that corner, but at least that's the best way that works for me, that I found at least. So if you know another way that's faster than the one that I'm using on this video, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm not an expert in the game. I just have fun and try to be as fast as I possibly can. So on this corner, we brake a little bit just to not go off the track. Of course, there are a lot of people who extends the track in that section. I try not to. I don't know if it's clean in this game. I think in Forza 6 it was considered a dirt lap if you extended that section. Now for this corner, you just need to let off the gas for a little bit. Don't even need to brake at all and you should be fine. Should get you the maximum amount of speed through this main straight here. I don't even know if that's the main straight or the... I think that the other one is the back straight actually. This is the main straight of the track. Or at least the first straight. We feather the throttle in the section. Brake following the line here. Again, patient on the throttle. I could have gone a little bit faster in the section. I took a little bit too long to start accelerating, so I lost a little bit of speed. And as you can see, the second place is just a little bit over 100 meters, which in S-Class is nothing. If you crash or go off the track, the second place should be able to catch up to you fairly quickly. So that's something that you keep in mind. In lower classes, 100 meters is a lot. In S-Class, it is not. So they are pretty close to me. It kept me on my toes the entire race. So that's a nice thing to have in racing games. It's that sort of adrenaline that keeps you in the edge of your seat while you're racing, trying to be as careful as possible not to make any big mistakes and ruining your race. Somehow we were able to gain a little bit more over the second place. We're over 200 meters. I don't know what happened back there, but I believe there's a battle going on between the second, third, and fourth place. So whenever there's a battle going on in racing games, you're pretty much guaranteed to slow each other down. So it's a good thing that I'm in first place because I don't have to be a part of that mess and I can gain on these guys fairly easily. Again, brake as soon as you come across the black tire wall. That's your optimum braking zone, and carry as much speed as possible through that corner. Patient again through this corner. In some cars that are more stable than this Lamborghini, you should be able to get on the throttle fairly early in that corner. But in this Lamborghini, try not to do that because otherwise you're gonna spin out. Now this next corner sometimes throws me off because I follow the red line, but sometimes, as you can see, I end up braking a little bit too late there. So I think it might be a good idea for me to look out for braking points, physical ones in the track, to use as a reference as to when I should be braking rather than following the red line. A lot of tires spread across the track. I think a crash happened in there. This corner is fairly easily, should be able to carry a lot of speed, but as you can see, I pushed a little bit too hard and ended up losing a little bit of traction. This corner is pretty straightforward, although this is another corner that sometimes throws me off because I think for the most part I tend to brake a little bit later than I should. So I think this is another case of me looking out for physical references in the track as to when I should be braking. I gained a little bit more, as you might remember, on the past laps over this straight. I was a little bit over 200 meters, but on this fifth lap was a little bit over 300. So something happened back there, and I'm still gaining on this guy. So the race is not as close as it was when it began. So I'm a little bit more comfortable with my pace over these last 2 laps, unless something happens and these guys start catching up with me. The mess of tires spread across the track is still here, so I don't know how much these tires slow you down. I would believe that it slows you down a little bit, because I know that those advertising boards that are spread on some of the tracks like Virginia, they slow you down quite a bit. So I would imagine that these tires slow you down, but I don't think it slows you down as much as the advertising boards. And we're on to the last lap. We're still over 200 meters ahead from the second place. Now we're on to the first straight of the track. We're still over 300 meters ahead of the second place. Looks like we managed to gain a little bit more when compared to the last lap, to the previous lap. Went a little bit too deep in here. I could have gone a little bit closer to the inside of the corner to carry a little bit more speed, but we're in first place fairly comfortably, so this shouldn't be a problem. This guy's probably gained a little bit on me over that section though, so I can be too careless over this next few corners. Now we're on the last straight, about to cross the finish line. Somehow the second place caught up to me fairly quickly, and I think if we had a little bit more time, maybe an extra lap, this guy would have come dangerously close to me. Moving on to the last race of the video. On the previous race, the second place got the fastest lap, but it was a dirty one, so I got the fastest clean lap, so that's why I'm starting in the lead in the circuit. This is one of the circuits that I would say most dislike, but that would have sound weird. As you can see, there's a whole mess as usual in this track. But anyways, as I was going to say, this is one of my least favorite tracks in the game. I don't like the flow of it. I think it's a little bit clunky at times, especially over this section. And I'm just not good at this track. Even though I use the braking line, I still can find good braking zones for this track. So I'm usually fairly slow on this one, and the fact that there's a lot of carnage going on when you go online and race in this track in special, it makes me even slower. But anyways, I'm gonna try my best to keep up with these guys. I'm pretty sure that these guys are gonna win the race. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the first place in this race in particular. But anyways, we have a Porsche and I think a Ford GT, which was the cover car for the last for Forza Motorsport 6. A really great car. I really enjoy driving this car a lot. I don't know when over the last Forza Motorsports, especially so when it comes to Forza Motorsport 3, Porsche cars used to be such a nice car. So they usually had some really decent cars when it came to handling ability. Yeah, I'm having a brain fart, but let me rephrase that. Forza Motorsport 3 had some really great Porsche cars when it came to handling. And I don't know, something feels off with the Porsche cars in Forza Motorsport 7. They feel a little bit weird to drive. It's not the characteristic I've come to know when it comes to Porsche cars. So I don't know what happened there, but they don't feel as smooth as they usually felt in the previous games. So I don't know what happened there, but I try to avoid using Porsche in this game, save for a few exceptions. This guy overtook me fairly cleanly, so that's nice to see in Forza. Usually they take every chance they get to try to push you off the track or try to spin you out. Anything they can do to gain a position on you, they will try to do, but this guy didn't, so that's good. We're up in third place, which is a surprisingly achievement. It's a surprising achievement for me because, as I said, I suck at this track, so I wouldn't have expected to be that far up in the grid. We're on the, I think this is the main straight of the track. I'm not good at situating myself in the tracks. I don't know corner names. I'm a big fan of cars, but I'm not a big fan of watching races in real life. So I would guess I'm a weird kind of car fan. I'm more interested in the visual aspect of cars rather than horsepower, performance, and all that stuff that most people are into. Yeah, this section here I think you can take fairly quickly, but I don't think I took it cleanly because my lap is dirty. I don't know if it got dirty because I kind of went a little bit off track over that section, or if it was because I've messed up before that. But anyways, we're on the third lap. We are fairly close to the second place, but I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna pull ahead because he took the corner fairly quicker than I did. This section of corners here, depending on the car, you're able to take them flat out, but not so much with this one. You should let off the throttle a little bit. Something happened there. There's a caution alert. I don't know if it was because this guy is standing still or if because the guy hit a tire that was sitting on the on the track, but something happened there. Or maybe the game just bugged out. Who knows? This game is pretty buggy, to be fair. This is probably one of the buggiest Forza in recent years. This corner here, depending on the layout, you should keep going straight ahead. But on the layout that we're racing, you should take the left corner, and throws a lot of people off when they don't know the layout that they're racing on, or when they're not checking the map. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this track. I think my least favorite tracks are this one and Yas Marina. Yas Marina, I love the track for the visual aspect. I think it's a gorgeous looking track overall. Probably one of the most beautiful tracks in the game, save for, I don't know, I think my favorite track, visually speaking, is Dubai, in this game at least. And Maple Valley perhaps is a close second. But these two are my least favorite tracks in the game. Somehow we're gonna manage to finish in third place, which is a surprising achievement. And that's it. That's been the first 4 online races in the channel. I hope you enjoyed. watching these races. If you did enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more Forza Motorsport 7 content. Lately I've been focusing a lot on Need for Speed Payback, but I'm gonna continue bringing Forza Motorsport content in Gran Turismo as well, so keep an eye out for those. But anyway, share the video with your friends and on your social media, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.